Howdy, freelancers and creative entrepreneurs. Today's question really is brought to you. Well, first, it was asked inside of the Feast Roadmap and Community. That's a membership website that you can check out more information on Rezzz.com/feast, but it's really a platform for you to be able to specialize and build recurring revenue in your freelance business. The question is how do you get out from under one client that is most of your business? Now, I feel like the reason why I wanted to talk here was because I feel like most freelancers or contractors at some point in their career, the timeline of their career, they think about this question, but they don't take action on it, or they don't ask about it because, I mean, let's face it, it's a difficult thing to do, right? Um, Maybe you're on hourly or weekly rate and you have a client where you do most of your work with, maybe all of your work, right? Um, Whether that's directly with a business owner or an agency of some type, and you work on multiple projects of theirs. um, it's a scary thing because you have all of your eggs in one basket, so to speak, right? If that client doesn't need you anymore, then what happens, right? So you get on this kind of like hamster wheel sort of thing, right? Like this chicken and egg kind of thing, whereas like you need this client, but at the same time, you know that if this client goes away at some point, then what happens to my business? I need other clients, right? But you can't work on other clients because this client takes up a lot of your time. Right. So it's a weird situation to be in, but it's an uncomfortable situation because let's face it, you started your own business to be your own boss, not another employee, right? So I do get this problem. I struggled with it myself. You don't want to rock the boat, right? Like you don't want to potentially send warning signals to that client. Things like not being as quick to respond to emails or requests or phone calls. It's a tough thing to really balance, and I did for a long time, maybe too long. Where I had too many of my eggs in somebody else's basket, right? But I did get out from under it and diversified my income across multiple clients so that if one went down, my whole business didn't go down with it. One thing that I shared in this conversation was, I woke up an hour earlier every day to focus in on my business, right? Not the client work. Things like sales and outreach, building up pages on my website, writing blog posts, things like that. So it moved the needle of my business, right? And yes, I know early wake ups aren't for everyone. It's not really for me either, but that's when my energy level was, and my creative level was at its highest, right? So wherever you have that creative juices flowing, maybe just do an extra hour at the end of the day if that's comfortable for you. Another thing that I did was close my email, right? You might have heard me say this before, but that's a huge distraction on so many levels, right? Pops up on your phone now, pops up on your screen. I mean, it's all over the place, right? So what I did was at first I only checked my email at 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4 p.m., right? Just basically 3 hour differences during the day, and spent time in there only at those times. Otherwise, it was closed out. That allowed me to focus on the tasks that I was working at, whether it was for the clients or for my business, right? Then at those times when I would check email, I would go ahead and answer and process all of those emails. Look, most things that come through email are not emergencies, right? And it can wait a little while. And if it can't wait, then they'll figure out a way to reach out to you, maybe a phone call or something, right? Nowadays, there are tons of tools like Slack and Telegram. Treat these also just like email. So close them out or put them in do not disturb mode. We went on to talk more in the conversation about some tips and tactics, but these were like the small changes in my workflow that made incremental strides moving forward. Being able to focus on the task at hand moved the needle on things, not just for myself, but for others as well that jumped into this conversation and they agreed to. So as a freelancer, you need to have a balance between your business moving forward and your client's businesses moving forward, right? You need to start thinking more like a business owner and less like an employee, right? If your business is not moving forward, your clients will ultimately suffer too. So until next time, it's your time to live in the feast.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.